Welcome back. The president's successes and setbacks since last year's State of the Union. NAFTA 2.0, China trade deal, ISIS leader gone, the economy strong, 187 federal judges, 2 Supreme Court justices, just to name a few. Let's take it to Tom Del Beccaro, former chair of the California Republican Party. Great to see you, Tom. Your reaction to tonight's State of the Union?
You know, I thought you were going to say in a partridge in a pear tree, because this has been a policy gift for the country. You know, just 5 years ago, we were watching ISIS beheadings on TV without knowing if they'd ever end. And the Democrats have not fought any policy with Trump. They've just tried to demonize him. And meanwhile, he's taken a divergent view and his policies have worked. So tonight on national TV, he's going to use his office to make the case for his reelection. Oh, by the way, that's what they accused him with on impeachment. But every president has done this, or who was running for re-election. So he's going to have a great night saying to the American people, we changed policies and this worked. And that's going to leave him in good stead. That Gallup poll shows that Americans are turning towards him, especially the independents.
Yeah, and to your point, another recent poll by Gallup found that confidence in the economy is now at the highest point in 2 decades. Do voters want this vision? We like to follow Reason Magazine's libertarian editor, Nick Gillespie. Now, he's no fan of Mr. Trump. We know that. He wrote this: listening to Democrats at the debate, I mostly did not recognize the country the Democrats were describing. They live in a world where dark, shadowy forces, meaning billionaires, corporations, Russian operatives, especially conspire with near-perfect success to make us all poorer, sadder, dumber and sicker, more alienated and hopeless. He feels that's the Democrats' vision. It's tough words there. Your reaction?
It is. And remember, the Democrats, a good percentage of them don't vote the economy anymore. They vote social justice. They care more about the fate of Ruth Bader Ginsburg than the unemployment rate. They'll go against Trump for anything. Meanwhile, the Republicans are solid still with the private sector. And now independents who don't like fighting in politics see some of the results after 3 years of Trump. And now the alternative for the Democrats. The best part about impeachment ending is this fight now to stop Bernie Sanders. Where does Mayor Pete go? But the left is all about big government, and that doesn't provide solutions to independents who in that Gallup poll now have their highest approval rating of Trump.
You know, the setbacks. Let's get to the president's setbacks. Of course, impeachment, the Supreme Court fight to get his tax returns. The Justice Department is taking his side, I think, yesterday with an amicus brief. Also, a push to include a citizenship question on the 2020 census. That was blocked. Setbacks with court rulings against the president's border policies, the border wall, also a pushback on that. But to your point, you made an interesting point about geopolitical success. The president was first out of the box to call out China. Account for your trade piracy. He got smacked down about that. He was called dangerous, that he was going to kill us all. 4 years later, now Europe and people around the world are saying, yeah, China's cutthroat violations should not be the international norm. They're long overdue for, for an accounting on that. Your reaction to that?
Absolutely. Remember when Reagan was running, he was called Ronnie Reagan, and he was going to start a nuclear war. They tried to tear down this wall out of the speech. But when he applied peace through strength over time, it showed the benefits. Trump over time, look, we're for lower trade barriers, but Trump temporarily used higher barriers, and it looks like he's gotten some success out of that with these trade deals. And now the economy is set to go even farther than people thought. So when you change policy from a soft foreign policy to tough, the press never likes it. Business is worried about it. But long term, it yields benefits and in the form of ISIS or being demolished to a great extent, or Germany paying more of its fair share in NATO.
Yeah, he got NATO to pay more. The president got a lot of pushback on that. I want to quickly, final word on rescinding the Iran deal. It's a big one. International outrage over that. Also, the killing of the Iranian terrorist leader, General Qasem Soleimani. Now Europeans starting to agree that, yeah, more sanctions are needed on Iran, that the world is better off with that terrorist leader. Your reaction? And by the way, the Iran protesters are now avoiding stepping on the U.S. flag.
Yeah, absolutely. Iran's one of the most dangerous, if not the most, because they're the most reckless, right? So defunding them was the smart thing to do, as opposed to the Obama policy of funding them. Now, if we defund them, maybe they'll have less power throughout the Middle East and things will calm down over time. This is a long-term policy, not something that can be solved overnight, but it's starting to show benefits as well. We are safer and richer 3 years later.
Tom Del Beccaro, thanks so much for your time. Come back soon.
Okay, thank you.
Just ahead, the next